Welcome everyone. In this session of automata theory and computability, let us solve one more problem of converting a machine from NFA to DFA. So we have a machine here designed in NFA. We have the transition diagram as well as the equivalent transition table. And let us not bother about the language to which this NFA has been designed. Okay. So let us see how to convert this. Okay. So first step, let us go according to the step. Step 1. So what is that? Epsilon closure. Identifying the epsilon closure of each and every state of NFA. So we'll start with Q naught. So what is the epsilon closure of Q naught? Upon encountering epsilon, which on all state I can make a transition. So epsilon closure of Q naught, it will be Q naught. I can remain in Q naught, isn't it? Upon encountering epsilon, I can remain in Q naught, or I can make a transition to Q1. Epsilon closure of Q1 will be Q1 itself. Since there is no epsilon transition to other state, it will remain Q1. Epsilon closure from Q2 will remain Q2, and epsilon closure to Q3 will remain as Q3, right? See, epsilon closure can never be empty because at most, upon encountering epsilon, or in other words, upon not encountering any string, I can remain in the same state, right? Or the machine can remain in the same state. So it can never be empty. So the minimum value in my epsilon closure set will be itself, right? So Q1 upon epsilon closure of Q1 is Q1 itself, that is the minimum value. Q2 is Q2, Q3 is Q3, and Q0 we have two multiple values. That is, I can remain in Q0 or I can go to Q1 with respect to epsilon transition. Step 1 is complete, that is writing epsilon closure. Now we'll move on to step 2, that is writing the transition table for my converted DFA, and A and B are the two symbols that will be present in my DFA. Okay, so we'll start with that starting state. So what is the starting state of my DFA? That is the epsilon closure of the starting state of NFA. Okay, so in NFA the starting state is Q0, right? And its epsilon closure is Q0 Q1, which is written here on the top. So that will be this set will be my starting state. Okay, Q0, a set containing Q0 and Q1. Okay, and this will be marked as the starting state with the incoming arrow mark. Okay, now writing a transition for this is for DFA is little tricky to understand. So let me make use of different colors to get a clear idea. Okay, so we'll see. Q naught upon A, right? That is the first symbol. Q naught upon A. So what will happen? I'll mark this with the yellow. Okay. So Q naught upon A in my NFA, it makes a transition to a set containing Q naught and Q1, which you can see in the transition table for NFA, right? Okay. So currently this yellow set, it represents this Q naught. Okay, on the starting state of my transition table of DFA. Okay. Now, where does the transition happens upon A in my NFA for Q naught? It makes a transition to Q naught and Q1, right? Now, what we are supposed to write is not Q naught and Q1. We are supposed to write its epsilon closure, right? Okay. So let me mark this first. So Q naught's epsilon closure. So what do I have? Q naught's epsilon closure is Q naught, comma Q1. Okay, we are half done. Then comes Q1. So there is one more symbol, isn't it? That is Q1. Let me represent this with the different color. So I'll make use of yeah, blue. Okay. So Q1. So what we are supposed to write? We are not supposed to write just Q1, but it's epsilon closure, right? So Q1's epsilon closure is Q1 itself, isn't it? So this is what we get. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So for this Q let me come back to the transition table on the right hand side. So this is done. This is done, right? Now there is one more symbol here, that is Q1. Okay. Let me make use of different color. Q1. Okay. Now Q1 upon A on my NFA table. So Q1 upon A will make a transition to Q2. Right? Q2. Let me represent this with violet. Okay. Now Q2. I'm not supposed to write Q2 as it is, but it's epsilon closure, which is nothing but, see, Q2's epsilon closure is Q2 itself. Q2. Okay. So that's it. No other symbol. This is complete, isn't it? Now we have two lines, right? See, on my top, I have two lines. And the first line represents the Q0 of the starting state, and second line represents the Q1 of my starting state, right, in my DFA. Now what we are supposed to do is we have to make its union. Okay. So I'll make use of this union. So I have to union this line and this line to get a transition for A. Okay. So which is nothing but, see, union, let me complete the first line itself. Q0 Q1 union Q1. So what do we get? What do you get? You get Q0 and Q1, right? Q1 is already there, so its union will be Q0 Q1. It is unioned with the Q2. So what do I get? Total, in total I get Q0 Q1 Q2. So that should be written as a transition for A. Q0 Q1 Q2. Okay. So hope this was helpful. Okay. You have understood. Okay. So further I will not be using with respect to colors. So that will become, the video will become very confusing. Hope you got the concept with this. Okay. Now for B, let us see for B. Q0 upon B. Let me write directly. Q0 upon B, in my NFA, it makes a transition to dead state, which is null. And Q1 upon B also makes a transition to dead state, which is null, and its epsilon closure is null itself. Okay. So this is what I get. Okay. So starting states transition for both the symbol is done. Now are we supposed to continue? Yes, we are supposed to continue, because here in the transition we got a new set, isn't it, which consists of Q0 Q1 and Q2. Initially we had Q0 and Q1. Now we got something new, so we have to repeat this transition until we encounter no new set, right? So Q0 Q1 Q2. For this we have to write the transition Q0 Q1 Q2. Okay. Now we have to follow the same procedure. Q0 upon A, we have to write, we have to check in NFA, which goes to Q0 Q1, and its epsilon closure need to be written. So which is nothing but Q0 Q1, and Q1 upon A will make a transition to this Q1 upon A will make a transition to Q2, and its epsilon closure need to be written, which is Q2, right? And finally Q3 upon A, it makes a transition to Q3, and its epsilon closure of Q3, this need to be written, which is nothing but Q3 itself, right? Okay. So this is for A. Then for B, Q0 upon B, it's null. Q2 upon B, it's also Q1 upon B, it's also null, and Q2 upon B is also null, right? So and its epsilon closure will be null itself. Okay. So yeah, two entries are done, isn't it? Did I get anything new? Yes, I got something new set for which I have to make a write a transition. So let us write Q0, Q1, Q2, Q3. Q0 upon A, I'll make a transition to Q0, Q1, its epsilon closure, which is Q0, Q1, Q1 upon A, it makes a transition to Q2, its epsilon closure, which is Q2 itself. Q2 upon A, its epsilon closure, its transition is Q3, and its epsilon closure is Q3 itself. Q3 upon A, as you can see, goes to null, right? So this entire thing, when unioned with the null, I'll get this itself, isn't it? This set. So that's one of the property. You union any set with the null, you will get the same value. The null is excluded, right? So this is the transition. This is what I get. Let us see upon B. So when I make a transition upon B, okay, it's Q0 it is null, Q1 it is null, Q2 also null, and Q3 upon B, I'll make a transition to Q3 in my NFA table, and its epsilon closure is Q3 itself, right? Okay. Yeah. Now, did we get anything new? Let us check. So this is, see, upon A we got Q0, Q1, Q2, Q3, which is already written here. I have a transition for it. So what about B? Yes, for B we got Q3, which is a new set or a new value, isn't it? Which we have not encountered in the transition table for DFA up to now, right? So what we are supposed to do? We have to make a transition for this Q3. Okay. So Q3 upon A, what do we have? It's null. Q3 upon B, I have Q3 itself, right? Okay, did we get anything new? Now, we didn't get anything new, isn't it? So, at this moment, we are very sure that the transition table is complete, except for null, we have to write the transition for null, right? So, we shouldn't continue further. Okay, so for null, when you get null upon A, go to null. The null is nothing but the representation of a dead state in my DFA. Okay, so this is my completed transition table. Okay, and the third step is to convert this table into transition diagram. So let me come to the final step of the solution, that is step 3, transition diagram. So we have to convert this transition table what we got from step 2 into a transition diagram. So this will be, the starting state is marked with the incoming arrow mark, and what is the accepting state? Any set in my transition table of DFA that contains Q3 should be marked as accepting, because Q3 was the accepting state in my NFA, so that should be, any set that contains Q3 should be marked as accepting. So we have two sets which has Q3 in it, right? So this will be marked as accepting, and it is indicated with the star mark. Okay, and the number for my transition diagram, the number of states is dependent on the number of rows in my transition table. So how many rows do we have? We have 5 rows, which means that I should have 5 states in my transition diagram. Okay, we'll start with the starting state, which is Q0, Q1, then comes Q0, Q1, Q2, Q0, Q1, Q2, and Q3. Since this contains Q3, this should be marked as accepting. And finally, I have Q3, and this should also be marked as accepting. Okay. Now, there is also one dead state, which is represented with null. Okay. Now, let us fill the transition. Q0 starting state upon A, I'll go to Q0, Q1, Q2. Okay. Upon B, I'll make a transition to null. Q0, Q1, Q2 upon A will make a transition to this accepting state Q0, Q1, Q2, Q3, and for B, I'll make a transition to dead state, right? Q0, Q1, Q2, Q3 upon A will make a transition to itself. So I'll have a self loop. and upon B it will make a transition to Q3. Okay, and Q3 upon A will make a transition to dead state, and upon B it will remain in Q3 itself, that is self loop. Okay, for B. So this is the transition diagram for the uh, transition table what we got in step 2, and this can be further simplified by writing the names with the proper nomenclature. Okay, this is how the final answer is written. Okay, a normal DFA which is written with the regular naming convention Q0, Q1, Q2, Q3, and we have D which represents the dead state, so it is equivalent for null here. Okay, and if you stop here itself it is totally fine, but this will give a more visual representation of the solution, right? You will get a better clarity with respect to writing the DFA in the original way. Okay, so this is about conversion of NFA to DFA. Okay, I'll see you in the next one.